YouTube fam? It's your girl Leah, back again with another video, and as you can see from the title, it is another foundation review Friday, and I'm smiling from ear to ear just because I have not filmed outside of my Fenty foundation review a foundation review Friday for you guys since the end of June. And you guys might be like, I just saw your L'Oreal Infallible. What are you talking about? That was filmed about, several months ago before my accident. Even if you pay attention, my hair is the model Dominican braid, which is an old hair. I don't have the scar on my arm from the accident, so that was a long time ago. Today's foundation is a foundation I actually bought back in July. I was so gung-ho about my foundation reviews that I pre-bought so many foundations. So this was new at the time, and as you can see from the sticker, it says new on here. Don't mind my nails. It's a nail day. I need to go out and get my nails done at some point today, hopefully. And I have the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. Now in Canada, I realized recently, they call this foundation Vitalist Elixir. They take out healthy, so the bottle looks a lot different, and I don't know if it's different throughout the entire, international land, but that's something I thought was weird. Is it not that healthy? So, like I said, my foundation reviews aren't first impressions. I wear the foundation out Monday through Friday. I type my notes out and print them out for you guys at the end of the week and tell you guys what worked with me. Like my hair reviews, I like to give you guys the nitty-gritty and things I noticed. If you're not familiar with my skin, I have dry skin, very dry skin. And if for you guys who are new, I list every single foundation that I've tried throughout my foundation review series down below. So if you have any questions about what am I in this foundation, don't worry, I got you all down below. So the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir, I'm looking down at my notes if I look down at any point, is between $9.99 and $11.99 in the places that I saw it. Now $11.99 it was at Ulta, and Ulta already tries it. $9.99 I saw it at Target, and I actually bought mine at Target for $9.99. So it's a higher end, kind of, depending on where you get it from, foundation from the drugstore. They have 14 foundation shades. My shade is 757, and that is golden tan. On the back, it also gives you a little expiration date, so it lets me know that it will expire in March 2019. So that's a long time. I have quite some time. You get 1 fluid ounce, which is typical for most foundations, and the bottle is very cute. I have to say, for drugstore, this is a very cute glass kind of bottle that is, I really like it. Now in terms of applicators and what I used this week in terms of applying the foundation, I chose to apply it both a few days with the brush, about 2 days with the brush and 2 days with the beauty blender, and 1 day with the Real Technique sponge. With the brush, you do get a more fuller coverage in terms of, you don't get a full coverage with any way you apply this foundation, but the brush, you do get a fuller coverage than you do with a beauty blender sponge. And that just depends on what kind of coverage you like. If you follow my channel, you guys know outside of filming on camera with you guys, Monday through Friday, I tend to like a sheer to medium coverage. I'm not trying to walk and be beat face. I'm not a model. My career isn't modeling, so I don't really love a full coverage. So everything about this screamed apply with Beauty Blender for me. Now in terms of primers, I have been loving this combination without question for all the foundations that I've been applying recently. It is the Primer Water by Smashbox and the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. So the water and the primer itself have worked wonderfully for me. So what I do, and what somebody suggested I do, this is why I do this. I use the primer water, of course, in spray, but for my areas that I get fine lines in, and I get a lot of fine lines in my smile lines because I'm a jovial, happy person most of the time, and so I get smile lines right here. I put the actual primer, the Smashbox primer, on these areas. So places where I tend to get wrinkles, I tend to put this here, and it's been kind of working for me recently. I get wrinkles right here too because I'm very expressive. Sometimes I'm like, I do a lot of eyebrow movements, like, so I get wrinkles here a lot. So applying this really has helped. So how the shade looks on me, this is the back of the hand. Like I said, I have golden tan. That's what one pump looks like, and that's what it looks like on me and my skin. You guys can see. Now I'm going to do a second pump, and we're going to see how far 2 pumps can take me. So, I know I originally applied 2 pumps on the back of my hand. I actually have gone back in with 2 additional pumps to make it build up a little bit more on camera for you guys. But if I was doing this day to day, I could get away with 2 to 3 pumps. 4 pumps if I wanted to build it up a lot more. Of course, you could use a lot less. The reason why I say this isn't full coverage for me, and that's one thing I'll say right off bat, the pump says it is a lightweight full coverage makeup. I have to stop you right there. The way I can tell if a foundation is full coverage, because I don't have a lot of blemishes or like dark spots on my face. I have freckles on my nose though. And if my freckles kind of peek through, which I don't know if it's going to show on camera because I applied a little bit more than normal, but day to day throughout this week, I've noticed that applying 1 kind of layer, 2 kind of layers, I still see my freckles come through. So I'm like, full coverage. I have foundations that are full coverage that do cover that area, so I'm like, let's stop you right there, CoverGirl. You tried it. Now, in terms of the shades, I normally gripe about shades early on. When I see something that says 14 shades, I'm like, because I think there's only about 3 shades darker than my shade. It might be 3 or 4 shades darker than my shade. The reason I don't give CoverGirl too much heat for not having those shades a lot darker is because they have the Queen collection. That's the only reason I don't read CoverGirl for filth a lot, is because of that Queen collection. It saves them a little bit because they have, I used to love CoverGirl Queen growing up, and I definitely need to try some of their foundations a part of this foundation review series, because when they first launched that was something new and nobody had ever really had a darker line back, what was that, like 8 years ago, 9 years ago when Queen first came out. So in terms of the finish that you're seeing right now, it is a very kind of, I hope it's showing up on camera how luminous it is. It's very luminous right now. Now I'll show you a little bit later when I come back and apply the rest of my face what I think it settles down to, but initially very luminous. If you're seeing right now, it does look like a amazing shade match. I'll show you guys a little bit later. I think it oxidizes a tad bit, and you'll see that when it interacts with my skin, but I think off bat when you're first applying it, I say, yay, look at it, I look luminous. The shade is matching me just from this one bottle. Didn't have to mix or anything. Shade looks amazing. But of course, as per usual, I'll apply the rest of my face and come back with my, how it interacts with my product's thoughts. So stay tuned. Now I am back and of course applied the rest of my face. So this is the finished look, and I'd have to say I hope it's showing up outside of the areas that are bronzed. I bronzed up a little bit around here. How it oxidizes a wee bit. Now, not an annoyingly amount for me. Now, like I said, when I picked this product up, it was in June. I didn't crack it open until October. So I think it would have been probably amazing if during those summer months, like while I was at the peak of the kind of shade that I am right now, but as I'm weaning down, like we're still in October right now, but I know as December hits, I'll get a little bit lighter, and this may not be the perfect look, but for me right now, I'm not mad at the level of oxidizing it does. Now, will my winter shade be, I think, 755 Soft Honey? I could be mistaken. I know Honey is in the title. What is one shade lighter than 757? So I don't know if that's something that I would need to pick up for my winter shade or not. But I'd have to say for right now, if you guys can see, it's a little bit darker on me, but I am a little bit, as you can see, I'm not, this shade, I'm more so this shade now. So it's blending with my body and flowing well with my skin tone, which I really like. I need my foundations to look like me. So good job on 757. In terms of playing well with products, I'd have to say I have to give this foundation a little bit of a thumbs down. What I mean when I say playing well with products is how does a product interact with my other products that I layer on top of it, meaning my blushes and my highlights and my contours and in that realm. Now, throughout the week, I thought it was kind of a fluke in terms of applying, but then as I applied more and more each day, I kind of realized it doesn't really like other products being on top of it that much. It's not the biggest fan of other products, and that's really weird. But I am not, outside of filming for you guys and being on camera throughout the week, I don't apply a lot of products. But if you're somebody who does likes a lot of blush, a lot of highlight, I've realized I've had to apply a little bit more of my blush than I normally do. When I put powder on top of this, it's like we're not liking it. It's like I have to swirl my brush in my blush to kind of pick it up and put it on. In terms of highlight, I normally pack it on. Like, this is a lot of highlight that I put on for me today. Like, in a normal life, I kind of wiggled my brush in there and apply highlight, but for this, it's just subtle. It's just very, you know, right here, it's very much so subtle. And so it's like when you put the product on top of this foundation, it disappears a little bit. You have to apply a little bit more. In terms of creams, it worked really well with my cream. I cream contour a lot, I cream bronze a lot, and it worked well with other creams. So these are things I just wanted to highlight straight off of applying. The oxidizes a little bit, may not be the best friend with some of your products, and I would have to say it does settle down to a natural finish if you are a dry girl. If you're a dry girl, you're not going to have very dewy, but you're going to have a natural finish, and I love a natural finish. If I can't have dewy, I'll settle for a natural finish. Now, it says it has vitamin E in there, and if you guys know, since my accident, vitamin E has been my best friend. I bought this from Target, and I'm applying it on my scars. It has really kind of helped a lot in terms of scarring. I apply cocoa butter and I apply my vitamin E. So vitamin E is a vitamin that I have really been enjoying on its own recently. So the fact that it's in a foundation, I like that. But yeah, let me not ramble on. Let me go ahead about the rest of my day and come in and check with you guys later and let you guys know how this product holds up throughout the day and my end of day thoughts and would I repurchase it. So see you guys soon. So now I am back. It has been about 5 hours with this foundation. Now this isn't how long I would typically wear my foundations. I would of course wear them a lot longer on a typical day, but I am about to lose natural sunlight. It's getting dark at like 6, 7 something. So I'm trying to utilize all the natural daylight I have near my steps. You guys say you love seeing me film here, so I love filming here. So this is 5 hours of wear, but you guys know me being a dry skin person, my foundations and a lot of foundations I try on this series tend to last longer on me than an average oilier person. An oilier person usually has to blot a lot. They have to apply powders throughout the day a lot of the time. And for me, luckily, I hate being dry skin, but I love the fact that foundations stay and look good on me for an extended period of time. So that is a plus being a dry skin person. But what have I noticed in wearing this Vitalist CoverGirl foundation throughout the entire week? Now first, oxidation. You guys know it did get a little bit darker for me. It wasn't something that I couldn't handle, but it would cause me to have to maybe use a lighter shade in the wintertime. Now I'm going to see how long I stay with this kind of tan, but on me right now, perfect shade. And now this oxidizes a little bit, this shade particularly, but I don't know how other shades, I always wonder, I'm only one shade. Do lighter shades oxidize? Do darker shades oxidize the same way that these will oxidize? I don't know, but for me, 757 might be a little tinge darker on you, just a tinge, nothing unbearable, I would say. In terms of longevity of wear with this foundation throughout the wear of it, the longest I wore it was on Tuesday of my work week, and I always get up in the morning, put my foundation and makeup on from 8 to 8:30, and that particular day I took my foundation off at 11 p.m. Now, how did it look? What you would expect a foundation that you wore for upwards of 14 hours to look. It didn't look the absolute best, and for me this foundation does start looking a little different during my work day around 5:30. I leave the office at 5:30 each day, and I don't look at all the way I looked at 8 o'clock in the morning. So the way I built my face up today to come on camera, I could say I could probably wear the look that I'm looking right now. I'd say I could wear it for 5 more hours, maybe still look exactly the same. On a day-to-day basis, a normal person applying foundation who doesn't have to film in front of a camera, you might see, 6, 7 hours of wear. An oily skin person, I know you would probably have to blot this foundation. There's no way around it. So that's why I want to say it may not be the most oily skin friendly foundation. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know. Maybe you're an oily skin person and you adore this. Super oily and you adore this foundation. I think this is more geared, and nowhere on the site does it say geared towards dry skin types, oily skin types, normal skin types. It doesn't say anything about it, but I'm saying for me, I could see a normal to dry skin person loving this, maybe even combination. Super oily, I think you're going to look like a grease spot by the end of the day, and I think you're going to have to blot uncontrollably. But would I repurchase it? That's the question of the hour. How did I feel, and would I repurchase this foundation? And I would have to say, hands down, I think I would repurchase it. I surprisingly, I don't know, I've seen a couple of reviews out there for this foundation, but I haven't seen that many about it. It might still be like I don't know about that, but for me, I kind of would repurchase it, only because I more so love a sheer to medium coverage. That's just me. I'm also somebody who's not concerned about how it works well with other products, because Monday through Friday when I'm at work throughout the week, I don't care about my contour being on fleek. I don't care about my blush being on point. I can apply a little bit light of hand with some contour, with some blush, with some highlight, and be okay with it. I more so love a sheer coverage day to day, and I love that too. I love a natural to luminous to dewy finish. I think this gives a very natural finish. I think that's one of the reasons I love MAC Face and Body, and that's one of my highest ones. And for some people, they're like, no, 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 no. This is in that category. I think for shade match, I found a foundation that I can buy one of, and it's probably my shade from about May to even now. Who knows? It's North Carolina. It can be hot forever out here. Who knows? The sun be belting down. I'm sure I could get a tan in the middle of November out here. So I think shade-wise, I found a foundation that I don't have to mix with anything. I don't need to do one part of something to get a perfect match. I think this matches me pretty perfectly. I think it's lightweight, just like the back says. I don't feel like I have foundation on. I don't feel cakey. I don't feel like that. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed my foundation review of the CoverGirl Healthy Elixir foundation. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at LeahLaVon89. Make sure you follow me on Snapchat at MissTalia89. Make sure you click the playlist that I'm going to leave at the end of this video to see any of the foundations that you guys want to see my thoughts on. I have it for you. Hopefully I have the foundation you want to see for you. So yes, make sure you check that out, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.